Hello. I'm unmuted. That's awesome. Um, so couldn't tell if I was going to be unmuted. Um, so what are we working on today? Well, we're working on our Chaos Scar um, game that's coming up. I put the vote out to people in the Discord, and out of the three, we had that Ding Dang Corpse, Butchers on the Wing, and the Hole on Sweeney's Farm, which barely won. Um, which was weird because my wife Cassandra voted for it and then regretted her vote. Um, she would have preferred to play that ding ding body, but that's what happens when you vote without thinking about what buttons you're pushing. So um, I don't know who else playing, so I know I've got two players. Those were my two consistent players from when this is more of a West Marches style game. Um, oh, sorry. Just got a message from the Matster. I think I'm going to be flying solo today. Um, I'm not sure because I actually wasn't going to do Chaos Scar today, or wasn't going to do prep school today, but couldn't go back to sleep, so I decided to jump on. Um, so maybe we'll have somebody. I'm early too by about 10 minutes. So my thought process is this. They had like 6 months off, right? We no Matt today. Matthew is doing some chores and just doing some, as Doug would say, doing some choring. Um, so I am going to try to get together with my two players and kind of wrap up what the last adventure was, like how that all came to fruition. I told them I thought it'd be interesting if we do that and then they don't really talk about it in the game, and instead it's kind of left slightly vague, um, and then they can kind of drop things in. And I think that could be a very fun thing for them as well as anybody who watches this with any consistency, which I don't think there. I mean, it is what it is. But what I do think that allows for is because we kind of treat Chaos Scar as something that happens in real time, is that it's been 6 quiet months. It's been 6 quiet months. We'll figure out in that kind of quiet session with before 2-2, what have they been doing? What have they been doing over there? I kind of want to get across to them that this should have been a quite uneventful period of time. That I want it to be something where they haven't had a lot going on, for better or for worse. So, if they've decided to fully leave Rustwell Keep and have now moved over to Burwich in its entirety, maybe I'll throw some slight issues, but I want it to be kind of I don't want it to feel like a calm before the storm, but I want it to feel like a calm before the storm situation. So that way, when we get back into it, it'll have been a little bit. And that's kind of, I just want to keep like the adventures going forward for a little while to be a little bit more 1 to 3 and done and then moving on. So very encapsulated. But one thing I like about the idea of this starting adventure and what happened no matter what they chose, is this idea of them coming back to adventuring after 6 months off, and Wild Beard appearing. Word up, brother.
Hello.
And then, like, so them coming back to it And as they kind of look down into what this is going to be, having a small flashback session with the section where they can kind of talk about what they were doing before this and how that might be affecting their decision making. Um, in my head, I picture as them both looking down as the Sweeneys have helped put together this pulley system so they can lower themselves into this hole about 30 feet down. We'll just call it that. But there's this wafting smell. It's like pungent, earthy smell. They can see when they drop a torch down that the flagstone is still kind of damp. And that this, whatever it is, this complex has been down here for a very, very, very long time. So I'm hoping that, especially if we're able to get that extra. So, one of the things that they find is, and I'm going to kind of put it more towards the end of it, depending on. I figure they'll go. They have the binary of left, right, right. We'll have them drop, and they can either it'll be like they're dropping into like an antechamber that they can go north or they can go east. Um, and if they go north, there'll be a room that's kind of the doors have been smashed down by water, and there's a body on the floor. They can tell it's water because the doors are still completely just sponged up all this water. So I got to kind of think about what I can put in there that's like would live in that type of environment. That could be a pain in the ass, just to give them a little something to kind of smash. So we need to come up with 2 directions and probably like 2 rooms to the east, and then a room, and then the body room.
The body room.
Yes.
Damn girl. You're crazy for that one. Did you ever get any more sleep?
No, not really. It was there was some hard Z's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just was like, okay, well, I'm up now.
Yeah. I did the same thing. Got up and I received the new Pokemon game for Christmas, so I slapped that in my Switch and started on my magical journey.
Ooh, nice. So that picture you posted of you opening a Star Wars stuff, was that the box you got? Did you open any of it, or are you hoping to hold on to it to do a draft type of thing?
I opened it, but I kept all the cards in the like respective packs, so that like you could still do draft stuff. I think I'm going to focus on A Lawless Time, the one that's coming out in March, to do like booster drafts, because they do like pre-release sets for like $25 with like 6 boosters and like other stuff like inside the little like tokens and things like that. So
very cool.
And because that's going to be like a new block. This is like the last like set of last year. Okay. So when this new set comes out in March, the first set of 3, like for tournament play at least, will kind of like rotate out. So I think that there's going to be some. They talked about kind of like clarifications on like the kind of when you attack, you know, some of the like verbiage that just kind of is a little inconsistent across the 6 sets they put out. They've kind of like simplified some of the language for the new set, so I think it'll be a little bit more accessible, a little less jargony. So
interesting. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I can say.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say something. So here's kind of how I've got it laid out in my head. Like I said, they can go east or north. So now we just have to populate this. So room 2 on the east is kind of what would lead to what comes next. So a couple things I thought about, just like tossing ideas around in my head, was like invisible water pockets. So they can't see them, but they can walk into them and start like, oh shit, I'm drowning. I I also thought about like a dying aboleth, but I'm like, I don't think they're really high enough for that. But maybe like an aboleth trapped inside of something. There's also a weird Cobalt Press thing that's like it's a giant shark trapped inside a giant water ooze. So it looks like a water globe.
Yeah.
But there's a giant shark stuck inside of it, which is just a weird thing that I eventually want to use. But not here. So my thought is with the water is to do to a is like also have a couple of them where they're like boiling.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like room 2 on the east is like a hallway.
Yeah.
20 feet tall or 20 feet wide, maybe 8 foot tall. Like I want it to be where it's kind of short, and it does have, like 1d8 of these water pockets. They take up 5 feet. So let's say this is a 40-foot long hallway, 20 feet wide, and 8 feet tall. This room or this space looks like it was once used remind me what a causeway is, where you're moving water from one space to another, correct?
It can be, I think. Okay. So
well, luckily we have this thing called Google.
Yeah. Have you ever used a living lake?
No. A raised road, path, or railway built across low wet ground. Okay, it's not even that. It's like a low bridge. So I was way off. I was talking about the opposite. What would a hallway where you would be moving things up and down? Do you think there's a term for that? A passway?
Yeah, I don't know that there's like a
name for a
special name for it.
Hallway where goods are moved through. An aisle or a gangway?
I was thinking gangway, so.
It was once used as some sort of gangway. This can be identified by what looks like some sort of mechanics in the walls that have long since been rusted out. There are, what would we say, 1d4, or should be 1d6 or 1d8?
What level are they?
They're like maybe 3.
Maybe
1d6. 1d6. Invisible water hazards that fully occupy a 5-foot square. Roll another 1d6 to determine how many are boiling invisible water. NPCs would need a, would it be search, right? I can't remember. It's or investigate.
Yeah.
Would need a DC 16 investigate to determine where these hazards lie. So just a trap room.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Hey, kids, he's done it again. He's back. He made up a hallway full of invisible water. Stepping into a regular invisible water hazard results in 1d4 damage drowning, and stepping into a boiling invisible water hazard. Hey, Mary Martin. Thank you for the offer, but we're going to pass as we have folks in our collective that already do that. But thank you very much for the offer and keep up that hustle. Good luck to you. And invisible, take the normal damage plus, what do you think, another D4 or a D6?
I think D4. You want to plink him a bunch, but I don't necessarily know that you want to put him in a precarious position. Just a real sense of urgency.
What should the first room be then going east?
What is the nature of the building itself again?
So one of the things that they have found is this original, and I can't remember his name, from the actual Chaos Scar adventure path. There was a Goliath mage, and I just whoa, you all right, brother?
Yeah.
Super Spike, how are you? So there was a mage, and I can't remember how much of this I changed. Was they used portals to separate up their space. So while they had a keep that was in the very first adventure, what they found is there was a portal in the basement, and then from there I extrapolated out that they just like, oh, my alchemy room is here with a portal, and my library is here, and I live here. So if you were going to come for them, you had to find the portal room and have passkeys to get through.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want to give the illusion that this is that.
Okay.
And it kind of is, but it's also not. They just don't. There's a portal, and it's a portal to the fingers. And the fingers were going to be where I was going to have Take Me Home, Old Fay Roads, which was going to be on the other side of the Chaos Scar. So this is that. And the portal will lead them to the Crater Lake, and they'll be underwater, but they'll be in the fingers. And it's called the fingers because on the other side of where the Chaos Scar pushed up as a landmass, there's this massive lake, and it's all shaped like a big hand.
Okay.
So the fingers are the land masses between the fingers.
Okay.
And they'll basically be in a room that looks like it's been tumbled on its side, and they'll go through the portal, be underwater, and they can see the surface from where they are. It won't be like a boat, it'll be an actual, like, hey, this was a portal room that got turned on its side.
Yeah.
So when they open up the portal, if they choose to, it will fill like this area, like this underwater area will just rush full of water, and it'll pull them through. So that's kind of where that is, which they don't have to.
Yeah.
It's just,
Is there a I'm thinking, like, is there a sort of like
it's all right, man. Twitch and YouTube are both they are what they are.
like a curio room, like almost like not necessarily just like a trophy room, but a room of like knickknacks and like components and like yeah, I don't know, almost like a kind of like a store cupboard for magic and other kind of casting things. It's like this person obviously is not kind of dealing in this, but I think that any like great mage has components and is thinking about how to ensure that they have the things that they need to do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking this, and I definitely am up for one thing I'm putting in here. This hidden room is a larder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hermetically sealed, so they go in there and they're able to find like here's like food from like 1,000 years ago that has been just sealed. So it's stuff that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So they can make, oh my God, look at the stuff we find. So I need some help figuring out what that is, but food. See below. I don't think this is somewhere that would have like that type of components, and if they did, they would probably be destroyed. From having been underground so long and having been soaked with this brackish water. But I think having like room one, there could be signs that this was that once. Like rotten shelving, like stains on the wall of maybe perhaps a pool of raw residium.
Mm-hmm.
That if they use a spell in that room, then that spell goes haywire. Or is there such a thing as a residium ooze?
I mean, sure. Just take an ooze and apply residium. I think that there's one in 4E, it looks like.
How about this? It's an ooze that if you cast a spell, it attaches to you and steals your spells for the day. It just eats your spells for the day.
Sure.
If you utilize a magic item, it attaches itself to the item and slowly dissolves it as it pulls all the magic out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, they basically said people use them as environmental hazards, such as dangerous, magically charged, or corrosive residue in areas where magic was destroyed. so it can be
They're
disenchanting.
all
A fine silvery dust.
there are remains of 3 shelving units that look to have been ravaged by water damage and time. At the foot of one of them lies a pool of red, sparkly watery gel. Is it really J? No, it's GEL. This is actually a dormant residuum. I feel like I'm misspelling this, but ooze. Should the PCs cast a spell or utilize a magic item in this room, the ooze will activate and attempt to cling to the person or item. This requires a Dex saving throw of 13 to avoid. As long as a magical effect is in play, the saving throw will need to be repeated. If a person is hit by the ooze, they simply lose their spells for the day, and the ooze slinks away satiated. If it is are of a chip-like consistency, but when here's the other thing: if they consume any of this stuff and then go back through room 1, the ooze would attack them anyway because these things would be magical if they consume it and an effect is in place. But if they walk through and ignore it the first time, then but it's still a potential threat when they walk back through. If they go east at all. But when consumed, grant a swim speed of 30 feet and underwater breathing for 1d8 hours. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Also going to say, most items are labeled in primordial. I don't think anybody speaks primordial. Okay. What's another interesting one? What would be something Goliath related? Like, what would a Goliath eat or consume on a regular basis?
Maybe like
hot rocks,
peppers. I feel like Goliaths need something to like spice their things so they can taste it, you know, like otherwise it's all just like meaty boy. I mean, there could be a bunch of bones and things like that. Whole carcasses.
Talkies.
Talkies.
1d6.
Wait, who said talkies? Oh, there it is. Just
what are those called?
I don't know. Boulet.
So Hot Rocks, I was thinking about like some type of like candy.
Yeah.
1d8. Inferno would. I don't know if I like the word inferno. What's a good synonym? Inferno. Conflagration. I like conflagration. Conflagration. Coins. These are coin-sized chocolates that require a DC 15 con check when consumed or result in being knocked prone and 3 damage. If consumed, they grant 10 minutes of fire resistance. That sound fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Jars 1d100 in each jar. I keep thinking of those little gold wrapped, foil wrapped chocolate coins.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Rocks, what should that do?
I think that those.
Because I'm thinking of Pop Rocks, but
yeah,
Spicy Boys.
Is it a negative thing or is it a positive thing?
I try to when I'm doing these things, like there's a potential for a negative, but there's always like a slight positive.
Yeah. Lava breath. Yeah, you could have kind of a fire.
Ooh, lava breath's good. Like you vomit up a liquid fire. So it's like it'd be like poison spray, but hot. But fire damage. If ingested with less than a 16 con, the butt of the fire type damage and remains in an area for 1d3 rounds, causing the area to be a hazard. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
What's the cone here? 40-foot cone. I guess it would have to just be the cone.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be 40. 40 is too big.
Yeah.
10 feet cone, you think?
20. Make it projectile.
Okay. This one's on you, Silver Spike. This is your fault. Boule bones. I think boule bones, it'll be like when cooked and the marrow consumed, it acts like Hero's Feast.
Sure.
Let's come up with like at least 2 more that aren't like ruined. I'd love when we can come up with like 4, but I love this idea that these are like consumable items.
Yeah. I'm going to leave it to you and Spike. I got to head up.
All right. Tell the fam I said hello and tell them thank you for allowing me to steal you for this short amount of time.
Yeah. Hello, Spike.
Yeah. Bye. All right. It's just us again. I'm trying to think of like some staples. 1d4 sacks of so so giants grind your bones for bread. Sacks of bone meal. I'm thinking with this is like if you use it to. I'd like to come up with 3 more. Bone meal, like I said, when used to make food that when used to make food, the consumable grants the eater a 1d3 increase in strength and con until their next long rest, but causes a 1d3 temporary loss of wisdom as they realize they are eating people. Dust. Okay. Our people's dust, I guess. The people's dust. Let's think of 3 more. I'd like to come up with 3 more kind of weird things that would be in this. Maybe something that allows them to jump. Oh, I like this iron loaf. Uh, 1d6 iron loaves. I think you have to take a strength check to eat it, though. It'd be loaves, wouldn't it? PCs must make a DC 16 check to consume. Failure will result in the loss of 1d4 teeth. I'm not going to do the statue thing. I like it, but I think that's too hard if I'm going to potentially make them lose teeth, which has a 50% chance to cause a 1d2 charisma loss until fixed. If consumed the PC's skin becomes like iron, slowing their or having their movement speed, but increasing their AC by 1d6, which can be crazy. I love that, Spike. This is super, super evocative. It feels like an eating challenge type thing that even Goliath or giants would throw at each other. So I'm trying to think of it's in Temple of Doom where they eat monkey brains, right? So I was trying to think if maybe there's some type of delicacy that they would eat as a big fuck you to mind flayers. And I was thinking chilled intellect devourer jelly. So, it's chilled monkey brain and intellect devourer being about the size of a small dog. And it's just a brain with legs and a little tongue thing. So what if they chilled that into a jelly? Okay, we're doing those two things. We're doing the one I had, and we're doing your poisonous jerky. Poisonous. Let's think of something. Let's think of an interesting poisonous D monster. There's a lot, so I think we go with purple worm. We'll go purple worm D&D because I never use them. They're giant purple worms. They do have a venomous sting or something like that. I don't think I've ever used a purple worm in D&D in all my times. They have a tail stinger. It's a con saving throw or take 42 poison damage. On a successful save, you take half, so 21. Damn. It doesn't really say what kind of poison it is. Mimic jerky. It looks like whatever you want it to. Because we did a Kraken Kringles. Purple worm jerky and chilled intellect devourer jelly. All right. So the purple worm jerky. I think the purple worm will for any poison damage taken for the next 1d10 days. I feel like this one's high risk, high reward. How many pieces? I think 1d6 is probably good. Chilled intellect devourer. Can't remember what an intellect devourer does to you. Let's see. Okay, they body snatch. So here's my thought. If you consume this, there is a chance if you fail a intelligence check that you literally go, hey, Mitch, that you literally go comatose for 1d3 days. You don't lose hit points. You're just incapacitated for 1d3 days. And when you wake up, you're like, you slept great. You just were like had weird, intense dreams about other people's lives. If you succeed and you're in check, you gain a temporary 1d8 skill points to spend however you wish in your skills. Because you're like getting the skills of other people that this intellect devourer or its line of intellect devourers had actually, had actually consumed. I think that's what we're doing, because you don't lose any hit points, you just lose time. The consumer must make a int save throw of 15. If they fail, they go into a comatose state for 1d3 days time. During this period, they can not be awakened. If they succeed, I should say this period has no ongoing negative effects after awakening. If they succeed, the consumer gains 1d12 temporary skill points to spend in whatever fashion they wish. This effect lasts 1d6 days. I don't know, we satisfied with that? 1d4. If you guys don't like any of that, put it in the chat in all bold, say no, this needs to change. And we will make some changes. Yeah, I want risk reward in all these foods, and I feel like they all have risk reward. With the exception of maybe the boulet bones, except for the fact you have to move them and you have to cook them. Requires a 1d3 cooking period. I mean, really, you could have a hell of a feast here if you've got really good saving throws. You could come out of this like just buff to hell. For 1d4 rounds. Did I put a time consume? Did I put a time? No, that requires a DC not prone to if they consume, they grant 10 minutes of fire resistance. Okay, cool. That just works like a hero fee spell. D3 days. Yeah. Yeah, Super Spike. These all have like, if Nate was playing, Nate would be in trouble because he would be like, I think I want to try all these. Ryan, I think, will be tempted by some of them. I think this one has the highest risk reward because you don't know when you might run into something where like extremely high poison chances and high damage, and poison's a pain in the ass. But if like I can have 12d6 poison hit, 10 hit points just to take out of that pool, all of a sudden poison doesn't look scary at all, especially at low level. All right, so I feel like we did good in these sections. The magic ooze, the steaming hall, the larder. Plus, they may not even find the larder. It's a hidden room. Of noticing, I just want to put noticing the trigger and a DC 16 to open. I need to change. I don't want to do percentages. It doesn't make any sense. Black sky. DC 15 will be like investigation. Chance of noticing the trigger and a DC 2 open. The room. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. I think what would happen is if they go to sleep, then I would make sure there's like stuff going on in their dreams. But I like the idea of that happening and a loss of time more than something that, again, it has such a high potential for loss of hit points or like wisdom. Because I already did something where you lose wisdom. You have temporary wisdom loss. I think stealing time is the only thing I haven't used in any of this. So that's kind of why I wanted to use that. But it's a great point, Mitch. So we need one more room. Doesn't necessarily have to have a monster in it or even a hazard, but I want to put something in it. Secrets or clues they might uncover. While I want you guys to think about that room. Would it possible to do I know a guy, but with one of the food items? It would definitely be possible to do I know a guy. Or I would say I know a guy who knows a story. I will put that up there. This would be a perfect time to utilize the I know a guy mechanic. Yeah, spice hookup. I think it's more just kind of that someone has a forbidden cookbook. It has the forbidden meats in it. There's no negative for the Kraken Kringles because I don't think there needs to be one. It doesn't really do something that's totally great. Although I will change this to 6 from 8. Yeah. Although we could say it dehydrates you. Yeah, we're gonna do that. After the end of the effect, the PC must make a DC 13 con save or be dehydrated, which would be for me a 1 level of exhaustion until next long rest. There. Now that one now has its negative in there. Fair, Spikes. Fair. Ooh, dehydrates is very good too. All right. Anyway, what secrets and clues? We're the larder. See above. The portal. See above. It's kind of it. So that's why I want to put something in this room. And I did have like a dying aboleth as an idea at one point. But I also thought make maybe a ghost aboleth in that room. But rather than it be like a straight up ghost, but like just some type of apparition. Was like bound to the stones. Maybe the biggest thing it has is like dominate. I think that's what it is. It's a whiz save. So, the room elicits a soft gurgling hum. Should a PC enter, they must make a DC. What does the dominate effect do? Or what is it? What's the it's a wisdom saving throw to resist. Do we know? Let's see what an aboleth's level would be for that. They have enslave, but I just want to use dominate. What is their? So maybe it's like kind of slime covered. The room's like got a mucusy layer on it. Enslave the target DC 14 wisdom save. We'll use that. The room elicits a song in the form of a soft gurgling hum. Should you must make a DC 14 saving throw or be dominated. The the room elicits the wrong word there. The room seems to be covered in a slight. Words are hard today. A slight, slick sheen of slime. A song, should be a soft song in the form of a gurgling hum seems to echo in this chamber. A gurgling hum. The very stones of this room are laden with the remains of a dead aboleth that will attempt to control whomever enters in an effort to be reborn. They will attempt to take over all who enter, but if are unsuccessful, will concentrate on the PC with the lowest wisdom. Make a DC 14 wisdom saving throw. This should be whiz. But if okay, I feel like that makes sense. Why? I'm not sure. I mean, it's been a long time, so I'm guessing they don't have any idea of what happened. So I'll do a saving throw. Each day, a dominated PC will have a chance to re-roll their saving throw, even if they do throw off the shackles of this domination. There will be a Manchurian candidate like trigger left in their brain that could be activated by another who attacks them with a similar spell. This is to be determined by the DM. Does that make sense? Is that okay? Do you guys think that works? Once aware, the PCs can attempt to treaties with this entity. Once a PC makes their saving throw, they are not susceptible. I'm misspelling that. for another susceptible to this attack for 24 hours. Okay. Long rest. I should just say or long rest. Whichever comes first. Okay, cool. And then we got to the body. I think we're good. So fantastic locations. Well, it's just going to be the fingers. Fingers. I'm going to put, see, take me home, Old Fay Roads notes. What NPCs might they meet? The Sweeneys. Who are the Sweeneys? Boy, we really more notes than we. Jean and Hetty. All right, let's write a little write up on Jean and Hetty. Are superstitious farmers. They've always had a penchant for not a penchant. They've always had overwhelmingly good luck growing in dry season, and their 3 ponds were always well stocked and never seemed to recede. This seems to now make sense with the discovery of the whole. They will defer to the PCs in most things, but if asked to actively help, they will not just decline, but possibly retreat to their home and bar it for security. The ghost. We need a good aboleth name. So I believe they're kind of like illithids. They have these crazy names. Oh, let's see, an aboleth name generator. Oh, I like Lunoon and Julor. Or Julor. Julor sounds good to me. An aboleth is like a very Lovecraftian kind of monster. It's kind of like squidish looking face, like has a big maw and has like tentacles. They're kind of like manipulators. They're very smart. They have like telepathy. They dominate monsters with like this mucus they get on people, and then they can take them over. They're from the far realm, and they've been in the world for like a super long time. So they had like these massive societies under the waves, but they've kind of fallen off since then. They're big bads. 2 commas? Where? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mitch. Let me see. I'm gonna. Wisdom's pretty low. All right. So the ghost. This is Julor of the second Aboleth sovereignty. I don't think I spelled that right at all. In fact, I know I didn't. Two commas in the name. They were killed by a fire giant named Zudorn. Zundorn. Oh, I like that. Add an extra one there, and of course we'll add there. I like that, Mitch. Thank you. Over 5,000 years ago, in order to show not only their dominance of their enemy, but also their subjugation, Zundorn had the ashes of come on, fingers. Put in the mortar of his stones. That would be would it be his stones? Yeah. Stones. He did not realize that the consciousness of his enemy remained in the form of a ghost. Oh, Mitch is on fire over here, dropping hot names. First of the fire-handed fates. Mitch, I love it. In the War of Steam. Damn, now I just want to play in that game. Like getting either drafted into the forces of like an Aboleth sovereignty or into the fire-handed fates, this army put together by fire giants subjugating these other races, having this war on these beaches, taking it all the way into the deep sea, like having these fire giant mages making all these potions or our equipment of water breathing to send their troops into the deeps to drive the aboleth out. That sounds pretty awesome. I think maybe that's what the PCs will see. Like, the aboleth can show them that they've had these 1,000 years to contemplate their revenge, and to realize their new sad existence. They are aware time has passed, but have no real concept of just how long and how much the world has changed. Don't necessarily have to be a bad guy here. They could just be this entity. And what they really want is a body to inhabit. So maybe they tell the PCs, like, hey, you give me a body to inhabit, and we're good. Give me something. I'll help you, in fact. I just need a body. I can no longer just be stuck in these stones. Take the stones and make me a golem. Whatever you do, I just want out. Interesting. All right. And again, Mitch has given this character a full-blown background, and I love it. And it's something like if they leave that room alone, they could come back to it at another time. I don't know if we have much more to put in. I think we're really in a good spot. By the way, Mitch, if you haven't, please vote in what the next DC Showcase game is going to be, because there is a poll right now. What monsters might they face? Well, we don't have a lot of monsters. It's almost all hazards, because I considered the Residuum Ooze a hazard, not really a monster. The invisible water pockets are hazards, not monsters. It's just a ghost. Really, this adventure is more about exploration. What magic items might they require? See the larder. Okay, that's it. That's our session notes, because they didn't choose these. Oh, poopy butts. They didn't choose these, so we're just going to move these down. But we have 2 adventures that are basically ready for later. I don't think this needs to be. Yeah, okay. That was weird. It's like highlighted. Yeah, I think we're good. Holy crap. We did it, guys. We made a whole D&D adventure. A whole session. Well, file. We're going to make a copy. All right, cool. I think that's all I've got. Oh, the Kraken Crews were Invented for the fire-handed fates to go into the water. Yes. Okay, we will add that. We don't need to, we can add that as like just a point when if they ask about it. I think we're done. Well, we have a couple more things that we're going to have to tackle in the next. Let's see what our results here on our poll real quick thus far, because we have a Star Wars poll up as well. So let's take a look at our streamed RPG games section. What do you? It'll be by name. It's in the streamed RPG games channel. You'll be voting on the name of the next DC Showcase Presents arc. It's your three choices are the Echo of What Was So 5 minutes ago, the Favor Bank, or To Rule Them All. Those are the three. Potentials. And then over in the Star Wars Discord channel, it's more like what kind of theme. So we have the Embassy, which is political intrigue, mainly doing with the Chiss. What lies beyond that last jump, which is more exploration. Who are the Grisk, which is investigation. And Sharpened Blades, which is the hard choice / combat. I'm going to try to utilize the kind of idea that these are like looming things. So if you don't involve yourself in them, they continue to move forward. Escalating threat, I think that's what it's called. So right now on Star Wars, so far there's only 2 votes, but they're for the same thing. Let's go take a look again on streamed RPG games. There's 3 votes. And see, I can see the results. It's gonna be hard to beat the one that everyone voted for. Dang. So I would recommend, if you have an interest, please go vote. If you're not in our Discord, reach out. We'll invite you there. I think we have a pretty good Discord. It's pretty fun. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it there. We've been streaming for about an hour and a half. Got our stuff done. I feel really good about it. I hope you do too. If you have prep you're working on in the future and you want to come on and work on it together, reach out. Well, I'm always happy to have people on. I'm always happy to work on prep. I got the ums today real bad. I will be back on Tuesday for Meng on Meng. I don't know who's voting, who's going to be on with me, but I'm thinking it might be someone on this very show right now. That's right, Spike. I'll be painting some heads. Anyone who wants to come on and paint as well. I might work on the shoulder pads of this just to get on the Zenithal, so I can try to get this guy done sooner rather than later. I really like the look, and this was Spike and Beard's fault of the pick of these 2 things together. So I might go that guy. If I can find a thin green body, probably go this. I'll move all the stuff over. At first, I didn't like the idea of the big head, the bigger head, but the more I've looked at it, the more it's grown on me. And then I think I'm going to put this head on a green Krang body. If I have an extra one, paint it green and call it there. So, Super Spike, no, not sure, honestly. No. Super Spike, you do what you need to do, my friend. I will be on. I'm trying to get my body to get back where it was, and to retrain myself Like it's been almost 6 months of like being down. So it's been 2 months since surgery, and I feel pretty good. I will admit, last week was my first full week back to work, my first time back at work, and it kicked the shit out of me. So I'm going to try to be smart how I do stuff. I know there might be a spook troop coming up. Not sure when. Hopefully soon. So yeah, work was rough this last week, but in a great way. It was rough. Just I don't have the stamina yet. So did great until about 1 o'clock each day, and then my body was like, "Go fuck yourself." So we'll get it. We'll get there. It just takes time, and I feel pretty good. So I'm just really tired. My body's really tired, but hey, we got back, and that's all that really matters. So we're back on the saddle. We're back bringing in income. You know, that's all I really wanted, was to be back doing what I love to do. So that's it. That's prep school for today. I don't know when I'll bat at games again. I need to get on a schedule for that. But currently I'm helping my wife get ready for her next D&D session. So we might do a prep school after dark soon. Just because she's got stuff she needs to work on. Also found this clear resin arm piece, but it's really like, I don't know, I'm worried it'll fall apart. Anyway, that's not your problem. That's my problem. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Maybe I'll jump on, especially if Beard wants to do Big Pharma. Maybe we'll jump on later. If not, have a good rest of your weekend. Friendly friends. If you want to talk to me, just reach out to my Discord. All right. Have a good one. Thank you guys. See you next Sunday. And pencils down.